Start your computations.
Go!
Huh.
Start your computations.
Go!
Huh.
I think we're getting into a weird area here.
Maybe.
Go!
Huh.
I think we're getting into a weird area here.
Maybe.
Go!